Welcome to IMARA and welcome back, ladies. I am so delighted we are finally back together. It's good to be with my girls, Jessica
I'm excited.
and me too.
The studio looks amazing.
Thank you so much. God is good. You know, the fire really set us back, but thank goodness we were able to come back. It's been a year, over a year actually, but we're here.
It's been a while.
I know. But listen, lots going on, so much to talk about. But what's going on with y'all?
Well, for me, my two eldest kids have moved out. So, and then my youngest is
almost.
almost, and the 16-year-old, she wants nothing to do with me. So it's like I get to start a new life, and so I've been dealing with a little bit of loneliness because I just wasn't used to it. Because you know, the kids were my life, and then my mom passed away last year. So it's just like no, but I'm dealing, and I get to create a new life. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I haven't yet, but I'll let you know.
Like you're doing pretty good.
We see you online doing the realtor videos.
Oh yeah.
Selling lots of homes, and that's you, Donna.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, speaking of a year-long renovation, I just finished our stadium condo, and so
nice.
it flooded actually a year ago today is when we got the call. So
How'd it come out?
oh, it's beautiful. Just in time for the end of football season. There's a lot going on. So much has happened since we were last together.
Yes.
And so we're all kind of finding our way in this post-COVID world, and you know, the vaccines have helped us to get back to normal. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, but I want to talk about the election results
probably would.
from earlier this month. So, any shockers? How did your candidates do?
Well.
Any commentary?
Well, you know, as a lifelong Democrat, I'm not very pleased. We did not fare well in South Carolina. And we really have to get ourselves together. I mean, no other excuse. We cannot continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. So we need new leadership at the state Democratic Party level. We need to be more focused on letting people know what we are trying to do for the people of South Carolina. And we need to toot our horn a little more when we get it done. And we are not doing that. We lost 8 Democrats this session. 8. Giving your party a super majority, which means that they don't need even one Democrat to vote with them to override a veto. In fact, they don't need a lot of us to do much of anything. I am not there anymore because I got swept up in the redistricting. A lot of people weren't paying attention to the maps as they were being drawn, and we saw it Tuesday on election day, on November 8th. A lot of Democrats lost seats in South Carolina. Y'all knocked on doors during COVID. Democrats didn't. And my position was, look, that's the best time to knock because everybody's home.
Everybody's home. And
you don't have to spend time. You knock the door, you leave the information, you say I'm here volunteering for this candidate or that candidate, and you're on your way. And people feel good about that contact, especially during the pandemic. And a lot of us were willing to do that, but the advice from on high was that we should not. And we paid a dear price.
Well, but it's also easy to do that because you can knock on the door and then, you know, go to the bottom of the porch, or they can, you can easily
social distance.
Social distance.
Nobody's inviting you into the house.
No.
You just need to say, hey,
it's easy.
So do you feel that was like intentional, like it was almost to sabotage like the Democrats, or?
Well, you know, the Republicans did what Republicans do during redistricting. They try to get many seats as they can, and they did that. Sadly, they did it with the help of a lot of Democrats. And that, you know,
mess, right?
We listen, and I'm not just saying that because I got caught up in it. You know, we fought, and my area is the only area in South Carolina that's going to get their district back in 24. But all those other, I don't know, I hadn't made that decision, but at least the people in the area will have the opportunity to have 2 rural representatives representing them at the State House. And that was important. Representation from rural communities is vitally important.
I agree.
So,
big shocker.
Yeah,
was,
I mean, you know,
on a national stage.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody said we're going to have this huge red wave, and so that didn't really happen. And So to me, that was the big shocker.
You were a little disappointed.
Well, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, that's historical.
Yeah.
Almost always in a midterm election for the Congress to swing to the opposite party
to the opposite side. They didn't do that.
I mean, and if you look at history, it happens all the time. So it wasn't an unreasonable expectation, especially given, you know, the soaring interest rates and gas prices and some of the challenges that we've been through in the past year or two. So I thought it would be stronger for Republicans.
Yeah, I don't know.
And, but I feel like we have a great slate of potential presidential candidates that would not include Trump. So I think I would like to see some fresh
Who, Trump
leadership.
Jr.?
No. I don't think he's
Okay,
that
on that end. Well, listen, we could talk about politics all day, and we will be talking about it again on a future show. But right now, we have to toss to a break, and you want to stay with us because we've got an innovative educator that's going to be our next guest. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Welcome back. We are just delighted to have with us an education innovator, Dr. J.R. Green, the superintendent of Fairfield County School District. Thank you so much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure being here.
Listen, we have been talking over the years about the teacher shortage. It's not just a shortage in South Carolina, it's really across the nation.
Absolutely.
Shortage with teachers, bus drivers, counselors, mental health counselors. The list goes on, and I'm sure your district is no exception.
Yeah.
You've got some incredible programs. I've been reading about them and the things that you're doing over in Fairfield, but I want to start tonight talking about your housing program for teachers. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so first of all, let me say that communities like Fairfield, I tell people whenever there's a shortage across the state or across the country, rural communities feel it even more.
Absolutely.
As young people graduate from high school and graduate from college and make a decision relative to where they want to work and live, very often rural communities are at the bottom of the list. Yeah. And so we recognized that we had to go the extra mile to try and recruit and retain highly qualified professionals. And so doing my research, I found a very innovative program in Hertford County, North Carolina, where they had built a complex to accommodate teachers. Now, this complex was simply an apartment complex, but it was specifically designed for educators. I took my school board of trustees up to Hertford County, North Carolina, so we rented a van.
Smart move.
And I took them up to visit, and ironically, one of my fraternity brothers was the principal, was the superintendent of schools there. And so I gave him a call, and he was welcome. He was gracious enough to host us and have us meet with his school board and his foundation, and visited the complex, and it was very exciting. We had an opportunity to talk to some teachers and really got some insight into why they were so excited about this. And this community was very similar to Fairfield County, ironically. Wow. So when we came back and really began to think about it, we said, you know, that's a very exciting project, but one thing we have an abundance of in Fairfield is land.
It's land.
So why should we build an apartment complex when we could build actual single-family homes?
Wow,
and so we decided to go away from that idea of building a complex and said we would build single-family homes. We had some rural recruitment and retention funding that the state, thankfully, had identified for communities such as ours. And then we came up with a whole idea of how we could use those funds to reduce the rental rates and then create just an outstanding living opportunity for people who wanted to become a part of our community. And so, God willing, we'll be breaking ground on those homes in January of this year.
That is
that's amazing.
I don't know of any other district that's doing that. That's incredibly important.
Wow.
Taking that first step.
And I'll tell you right now, we have a list of people who are waiting for the first homes to be completed. It shocks people, but they'll be able to rent our smaller homes for $500 a month.
Oh, goodness.
And our
That's
larger
affordable
homes
housing.
for $700 a month. And I tell people, this is a home with a yard. I mean, these are 3-bedroom, 2 baths. They'll be nice. So we're very excited about this opportunity.
That is really incredible.
Amazing.
Have you had a lot of teachers that are vying to get in, existing teachers trying to get in?
And so absolutely. And so you know, we've had a lot of questions about how you will determine who priority is given to. Okay, and so I've been in the district for 10 years. Tell me where I fall on the list. And so the foundation, who actually will own the property, have established a priority where initial priority will be given a certified staff. Okay. And then priority will be given a classified staff after certified. And so by certified, we're talking about classroom teachers, guidance counselors, people who have a teacher certification. Classified staff would include bus drivers, maintenance staff, clerical staff, and the like. And then within those ranges, we're going to give priority based on tenure in the district. And so we look at certified staff first, but then we want to look at, even within that, how long have you been with the Fairfield County School District as we determine priority.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Have the changes you made in compensation for staff in Fairfield helped?
Absolutely. I tell you that, and me and Representative Brawley was talking about this, you know, we came up with a very aggressive retention bonus plan a few years back. And so all certified staff in Fairfield County get an annual retention bonus of $5,000. All classified staff get an annual retention bonus of $3,000. And I'll tell you that that got lots of attention, not only from recent graduates, but also from our neighboring districts. And so, you know, as people observed that Fairfield was so aggressive in terms of recruiting and retaining, now you see virtually everyone coming out with some kind of bonus program to try and be competitive in this very, very tough era. And so I'll tell you that I am positive that there are some people who identify Fairfield County as a place that they wanted to work as a function of our bonus program.
That's good.
Yes, leading the way.
Yeah, that's
You're
what we
a
need.
trendsetter. I like it. So what was the priority in recovering the learning loss after the height of the pandemic?
You know, I'll tell you, and this goes back to some of the challenges of rural communities. Fairfield, in many areas of the county, are internet deserts. Okay, and so when we think about who has broadband access, we often don't think about the fact that there are many rural communities that not only may not have the means, but don't have the access. And so even if you had the means, all right? And so when we had to go virtual, that was a significant challenge that we had during the pandemic. And so as everyone transitioned to a virtual environment due to COVID-19, communities that really did not have a substantial internet connection really struggled to provide that kind of synchronous instruction to their students. And quite honestly, what we had to do was, for those families who were willing to have students come and report to receive direct instructions, we had them to come in. Because we couldn't provide the kind of instruction that they really needed. Now everyone didn't come in because there was still a fear of COVID-19, and some of those still elected to stay home. So as we came back, we recognized that there was some learning loss that had to be addressed. And so not only learning loss, but we recognized that we needed to do some additional enrichment things to really address social and emotional learning and the like. And so we've been having a multitude of things that have been going on in Fairfield County since then. In the summer, during the course of the school year, and so we are addressing math, literacy. We have a pretty intense literacy intervention program that's going on at all of our elementary schools. We have a pretty intense math intervention program that is going on at all of our elementary schools as well. And that's during the school year. But in addition to that, we have extended the school year for students that we've identified that have some deficiencies.
Oh, well, that to me is key, to have that extended time so that students, I always say that, you know, our schools are like neighborhood communities, And we ought to have them open pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
We ought to be doing something at a school pretty much during the summer months, during the breaks. Even, you know, community-based programs can be run out of those schools, and particularly rural schools, because a lot of the kids are latchkey kids, and they need the support of that school and the environment that it provides.
You know, there are two concepts that we have been really working with in Fairfield County, and I know we're going out of time here, but it's community schooling and whole child education. And if we're really going to move the needle relative to the trajectory of children, particularly who come from disadvantaged situations, we are really going to have to figure out how we address those two concepts.
Well, Dr. Grant, I could sit here. I know we probably got 10 other questions we can ask you, but thank you so much for the work that you are doing and how you are leading the way, because if it can be done in Fairfield, a rural community and a rural county, it can be done everywhere in South Carolina. So we really appreciate the work you're doing. We need more administrators in education like you.
Well, I appreciate those kind words.
Well, we have to have you back.
I love coming back.
All right. We're going to hold you to that.
We'll go to him and have
Exactly. Well, listen, stay with us. We've got more coming right after the break.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
So that interview with Dr. Green was really informative, and also, I mean, that's such a great thing what he's doing with the teachers, and then shedding light on about COVID. And you know, my daughter is in high school, and after COVID, it was really hard for her to get back into the swing of school. She didn't want to go to school.
Really?
Yeah, she just wanted to do school from online, and she really wasn't, you know, she was watching, you know, TV, and I had to say, shut the TV off, time to do work. And you know, she was really, she didn't do well the first year, last year when they went back to school. She didn't do well. She's doing better this year, but it was really hard to get her, you know, I'm like, I have the belt, you better, you better put that, you know, you better get on board.
I
so
know a lot of parents had those same problems.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That had to be challenging, and for the kids too.
Yeah.
To have to go virtual and then to come back, and
yeah, she was always complaining, I don't want to go to school. So.
But you know, the interesting thing about it is we found out through this process how important the being together, being in a classroom is for a kid, not just from an academic standpoint, but from, I think Dr. Green mentioned this, a social and emotional, to look at the whole child. For some of these children, going to school is like getting a new opportunity, because in many cases they come from environments where there's not enough food. They're latchkey kids, and the school is a safe haven, in addition to an opportunity for academic advancement. So I think what we saw in COVID is just how important it is for the school to be open and allow children the opportunity to have access, because, and he said this, even during the height of COVID, because of the lack of internet, they had to allow some students the opportunity to come in if the parents were willing. So COVID changed everything. It really did. But I think, you know, silver lining, you know, we're getting internet across our state, high-speed broadband in rural communities, thanks to that infrastructure bill and the ARPA money from that Democrat named Biden. But we are getting that across the country, and I think it's about time that we do that. I think it's about time. I know I can go on, and I won't. The politics is over, right?
Well, our governor has prioritized that as well, and will continue to.
Yeah, he will. He'll get another 4 years to do it, right? Well, listen, stay with us. We'll be right back.
The ComEd provides transportation all over the city for bus riders.
I can get from point A to point B safely.
I can count on the ComEd because they be on time.
The bus drivers are very courteous.
Efficient service, clean vehicles.
You can charge your phone up.
You get on the bus and you plug up.
The ComEd allows me to have independence.
I would recommend it highly. Or get the bus.
Welcome back. We are just delighted, I am, to have in the studio with us my good friend, Ms. Pamela Bynum-Reed from the Comet. Now, she has a long title, so bear with me. She is Director of Marketing and Community Affairs and so many other titles as well, and doing a wonderful job over there at the Comet. So, Pam, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me today, Wendy, in your new and upgraded, beautiful studio.
Yes, we are so happy to be back. It was a long wait, but I think it's worth it because we are back where we belong.
Yes, absolutely.
So listen, I want to start by saying what a shock it was when we got the news about Mr. Hudgens passing. We were all, I just seen him on Richland County Council receiving recognition for the Comet, and to know the next, few days he was gone. I know it's been a tough transition for the organization, but he did so much, not only for the Comet, but for the community.
Yes, he did. And thank you for your kind words. Mr. Huggins was a jewel for us. You know, he was always passionate, not only about transportation, but about people.
Yeah.
You know, his quote, which we love to say, is that he looked at transportation as a way of providing access to jobs and economic development, education, and health care. And that was the role of transportation, and he worked tirelessly to that end. You know, we miss him. You know, he's gone, but his contributions will continue.
Absolutely.
The work that he started, we will move it forward and go on with it.
Well, you know, it's interesting the analogy that he made about the importance of transportation and how it connects us to everything. Because I think sometimes people forget that.
Yes.
That there are many people who still have challenges when it comes to connecting to healthcare, connecting to job opportunities. So he will be sorely missed.
I want to talk about one of his projects. It was one, and it was a long time coming, but the day of his passing, I told him that we were working on putting it up at our headquarters, and it was a concept of a mural that shows the trajectory of transportation from the very inception of public transportation on through today, and interweaving the Comet story in that. And it's called Public Transportation, a Catalyst for Change and a Purveyor of Progress. And it tells stories like Sarah Mae Fleming, who's from your neck of the woods. And then, you know, goes back to the Civil Rights Movement and how it was a catalyst for change, and how it provides access with what we're doing at the Comet with our Comet on the Go programs and our food provision programs and different things like that. So that's up at the Comet, and it's a mural in his office, but it's a deconstructed mural all through the hallways.
Oh, okay. So I have to come visit, and actually we have to do something on site, because and just see some of the work that you all are doing. And if you are capturing it in pictures, that's even better. Pictures worth 1,000 words.
We'd love you to have you there.
So y'all got a plethora of so many different programs, but this new thing that you all are doing, what is it called? The People of the Comet?
The People of the Comet.
Tell us about the People of the Comet.
So how that was, the brainchild behind that is that, you know, we all realize that in some places public transportation is stigmatized.
Yes.
You know, who are those people who ride?
The bus.
And you know, and the truth of the matter is, everybody rides the bus. Whether you're a business person or whether you're a domestic worker, you ride the bus. And we wanted to showcase the people who ride and tell their stories, but also show the people who work behind the scenes, like the mechanics, like the bus drivers, you know, like the people who plan, you know, all of those people. So you see their stories and their pictures on our bus shelters throughout Richland and Lexington counties.
Oh, that is really nice, and it's a way to connect with every kind of potential rider that you have out there, and make employees feel good about the work that they're doing too.
Oh, now they're so excited. It's like their friends are taking pictures of their pictures on the shelf.
They're famous.
Yes, yeah, and they're getting phone calls. It's really neat.
That's wonderful. And you know what? I know you are a real marketing genius, and I'm gonna take the privilege of saying that because what you're doing is really changing the face of the Comet and how people perceive public transportation. And given what we've experienced with gas prices and the like, I guarantee you're probably getting a lot of new customers that probably never rode the bus system before and finding it to be an enjoyable experience. And that's what you want.
Thank you.
So congrats to you for what you're doing, trying to change the perception of the Comet. That's important.
Thank you.
Now I want to talk about this 20th anniversary that you all just celebrated, and I think you got recognitions from every governmental group in this area. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So October 16th, 2002 was the formal recognition of Central Midlands Regional Transit Authority, or the Comet, as a regional authority. And it was an intergovernmental relationship between Richland County, Lexington County, City of Columbia, City of Forest Acres. So it's, did I leave anybody? I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I think I had
Richland, Lexington, Forest Acres, and the City.
Yes. So all of them provided us with proclamations.
That's nice.
And we really had a lot planned as far as showing customers how to use the apps to plan their ride, which we did do that part, but we kind of scaled it down with the loss of Mr. Huggins.
In fact, that's where I saw him on the video from Richland County Council when you all were being recognized that night. Well, listen, I know that there's so much good stuff happening at the Comet. So glad that you are there, making sure that we all know about it and sharing this information with our readers, our viewers. It seems like our time always goes so quick when you are here, but we have to have you back.
I'd love to be back.
Thank you so much for what you do, and we look forward to having you back real soon. I know there's lots of other things that are coming up.
Lots of good things coming. Come on and catch the Comet.
All right, well, stay with us. We'll be right back.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Well, that completes our show today. Listen, we hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned something that both inspires and empowers you.
And don't forget to like IMARA Women Magazine on Facebook and follow IMARA Women Magazine on Twitter.
Well, listen, we are so happy again to be together again in our new facility. We thank you all for your patience, support, and love that you sent us over the last year as we waited to get back in our own studio. But until the next time, peace.